Hi my dear friends. Well, Grandma's going to do a little cooking video today. These are just some quick, easy meals. We're all tired and overworked. And I know how you feel because I'm working a full-time job, doing my YouTube channel, help taking care of Grandpa, and whatever else Grandma has to do, and also see the family. Now, if you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and please think about following if you're not already. Well, as you can see, I have two different packages of bacon out here. I'm going to make my life a little easier. I'm going to prepare a couple meals at the same time, and it's not going to take me that much longer to do it, because once you get everything ready and prepared, you can keep making more meals out of it. I am going to start by pre-soaking some beans the day before I start cooking this bacon, so I can have my beans ready for another meal. So I'm going to pick all this bacon. As you can see, Farmer Land is a very good quality bacon, and it has plenty of meat in it. And this is one of my favorite bacons. This package is 12 ounces, and you'd have to figure out how much you're going to cook or need before starting. Like I said, there's just me and Grandpa, and a lot of times I cook more bacon than I need because I want to make sure we have it ready to go, and I can just heat it up for later in the day or put it in a different meal. I'm going to open this package of 12 ounce, and as you saw, this really is good quality, and this bacon is about $2 cheaper than buying something else. Another thing I always do when I'm doing this is I use a good quality Reynolds wrap, heavy duty, because I'm going to be scraping off the bacon drippings and little bits to use in my beans for more flavor. And telling you right now, you cook this in your oven on a cookie sheet, you're not going to have any mess to clean up. And if you got 2 cookie sheets, you can cook a lot of bacon pretty quick. Now, my husband likes it almost on the verge of almost being burnt. You do not have to cook your bacon as well done as I do mine. But if it isn't saluting when it gets off, he gets upset. But as you can see by the bacon, the aluminum wrap has little bits of little bacon. When I get done doing all this, there's going to be lots. Now, as I said, you do not have to cook your bacon as well done as I do. But even at that, I still put it on paper towel to make sure we drain any excess grease off of the bacon also. Now you can see I've been cooking a couple times in this cookie sheet, and the little bits are building up on the Reynolds wrap. Now this is my bacon tomato sandwich. That's one meal. Now it's a quick, easy meal. You just break it in half, put some tomatoes, lettuce if you want it, mayonnaise, Miracle Whip, whatever you want, and you've got a meal. And the great thing is you've got enough bacon cooked ahead, you can actually make some sandwiches like for the next day. Just barely warm it up, and you've got an extra meal. Now, I also had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I got some Great Northwestern beans. And these beans are really, really good quality, but you need to pre-soak them. Soak them the day ahead. You do not have to cook the whole pot. This whole bag is 32 ounces in here. I did a cup of beans. I pre-soaked them overnight. Then the next day, it's easier to cook them. I cooked them not just in water. I cooked them in chicken broth, along with some water to give more flavor to it, because that's one of the most important things when you're cooking beans. You want a lot of flavor in those beans. So pre-soak them like I said, use chicken broth, and let them cook until they're soft. When they are totally soft and really ready to go, and look at the best part, calories 80 per serving. And you cook as much or as little as you want. If you have instructions here, if you want to make just enough to have beans one day, fine. If you want to make enough to have beans a couple days, that's fine also. And this way you got a good quality meal, and you're going to do great because you're cooking more than one meal at a time. When I made mine, I made enough to freeze about 6 portions in my freezer. So that meant we had dinner for that one meal, and I had at least 3 meals left in the freezer if I broke it down into portions. whatever you want to eat and how much. That is the most important thing about cooking, for you don't have to cook every day. I maybe cook 2 to 3 times a week, because when I cook a meal, I cook enough for at least 2 to 3 days. And of course you may not want to eat it for 2 or 3 days. You get a heavy duty freezer bag and you freeze it. Now here I'm showing how I've soaked the beans ahead of time. This is super easy. When they get done soaking overnight, and like I said, you're going to cook it in some water and some broth. Now here are the little bits. Now I scrape these off, and I carefully scraped them over to one corner like you saw. Then I will put those in my beans from their cooking, and it'll give so much more flavor along with the chicken broth. See those little bits over in the corner? That's what flavored my beans. And this is why you need to have better quality Reynolds wrap. Now there's just a spoonful of little bits of the bacon, and I'm going to put it in with my beans when they're cooking. Like I said, they give a lot of flavor, and this is what you want with your beans. And let them cook until they're really nice and soft. And you'll be amazed how it's going to taste. Now, you might also, I do this at the very end. I put my frozen vegetables in to give more flavor and color, and as you can see, there's little bacon bits in there. And I crumble up some bacon to give a little more flavor to the soup. And I'm telling you, it is so good. I don't put my vegetables in until the very, very end, because I want to make sure they still keep their colors, because the frozen vegetables don't need to cook very long. And I just put them, like I keep saying, at the very, very end. And you're going to be amazed how much flavor it has. Now, when I'm cooking those beans, I do put in some seasonings also. I put Italian seasonings, usually about a tablespoon. I put some pearl barley. I put about 1/4 of a cup to give more in there. And I also put garlic salt, about 1/2 or 1/4 of a, well, depends on how much salt you want. Maybe a tablespoon of garlic salt and a tablespoon of lemon pepper. I would start with maybe 1/2 and see what you like, because you can always put more in, but you don't want to put too much seasonings in if you don't like a lot of seasonings. I try to cut down on the salt, so I try to put the salt at the very end of the cooking, because I don't want it to cook too much into the beans. I want to use less salt, and I want to have the flavor of the garlic salt and the lemon pepper. But this is up to you how much you want to use, because a lot of people like a lot of seasonings and a lot of people don't. Now I use a lot of Italian seasonings in all the food I cook, along with lemon pepper. Now when it's all done, and it looks, you can tell everything is well cooked. And as you can see, I did not cook my vegetables very long. I basically just warmed them up and didn't have them cold, because I do not like my vegetables very well done. But you can cook it any way you want. As you see, the peas are still green, the corn is looking great, and every vegetable you can see and how colorful it still is, because I didn't cook it really long. But that is up to you how you want to cook your vegetables. Hope you enjoy 2 quick meals, and if you cook enough bacon ahead and prepare enough beans ahead, you can see you can have as much as you want and have it for at least 3 or 4 days. And as you also notice, little red pepper flakes on my soup, because I like a lot of seasoning, but I try to cut down on the salt, so I put other flavors in there. Hope you like all the tips. Hugs and kisses from Grandma Sandy.